In the forgotten village of Willow's End, where fog clung to the earth like a burial shroud, there stood a crooked cottage at the edge of the Blackroot Woods. Its roof sagged, its windows were cataracts of grime, and its chimney coughed smoke even on the hottest days. Inside lived Agatha Hemshaw, a widow so ancient the townsfolk swore she'd outlived the stones of the churchyard. Children dared each other to touch her rusted gate, whispering that she spun yarn from the hair of the dead. Travellers who passed her home spoke of a figure hunched in the upstairs window, knitting ceaselessly, her needles clicking like beetle jaws. But no one truly believed the rumours until the night Lila Mercer vanished. Lila, a headstrong girl of 17, had laughed at the stories. Superstitious nonsense, she'd scoffed, marching to Agatha's door at twilight to return a stray sheep. The old woman answered, her milky eyes glinting, mouth a slit of blackened teeth. "Kindness is rare here," she croaked, inviting Lila inside for tea. The door closed with a sigh. 3 days later, Lila stumbled back into town, unharmed but changed. Her fiery curls had turned bone white. Her eyes, once emerald, were the dull grey of storm clouds. She spoke in riddles, clutching a shawl knit from a thread no loom could replicate, a thread that pulsed faintly like a vein. When asked about Agatha, she'd only whisper, "She's stitching." Then the nightmares began. Every household in Willow's End dreamed of Agatha each night, her needles clacking as she wove something vast and shapeless in the dark. Those who tried to flee found their roads looping back to the village. Those who burned the shawls awoke with them, draped over their shoulders, tighter each time. On the 7th night the screaming started. Farmer Brantley was first. His wife found him tangled in invisible threads, his skin cross-hatched with red lines as if his very flesh were sewn to the bed. By dawn, half the village bore the same marks. Lila, meanwhile, sat in the square, unravelling her shawl thread by thread, each strand squirming like a worm in her hands. The pastor led a mob to Agatha's cottage, armed with torches and Bibles. They found the door ajar, the hearth cold. Upstairs, the knitting chair still rocked. On it lay a tapestry the size of a grave, depicting every villager in exquisite detail, their faces frozen mid-scream, and in the corner a new skein of yarn, gleaming and coppery, still damp. They never found Agatha, but to this day, when the wind howls through Willow's End, you can hear the click-click-click of needles, and if you linger too long in the woods, you might glimpse figures hanging in the trees, not bodies, but empty skins, perfectly stitched, waiting to be filled.